Okay, hello everybody. I hope you guys are working well. You're doing well at home. And this is the first video clip um, of the online meeting on March 24. I'm going to use several video clips, maybe two or three, to finish the rest part of lecture 8, which is implementing land transportation security. And I started this lecture, the meeting before the spring break, because it was 2 weeks ago. I want to firstly do some review, and then I will just continue. Okay. So last time we discussed a lot of things. Firstly, we discussed the reason why land transportation systems are the most frequently targets of terrorist attacks, but receive the lowest level of security attention at all scales, right? There is no international level organizations or agencies for land transportation systems compared to maritime and aviation. And in different countries, for example, in US, land transportation systems, they receive the least funding for security, right? And also after that, I started the discussion on the implementation of transportation security policies on different components of land transportation system. Okay, the first component is mass transit and passenger rail. So we talked a lot about all those programs from TSA and from federal government, and how do they use these programs to implement land transportation security policies on mass transit and passenger rail. And I stopped here on this slide, discussed we discussed a little bit about using high technology, advanced technology to finish screening, passenger screening. And also I mentioned a little bit about the conflict between technology and privacy, right? When you're trying to screen people, you also invade their privacy, seriously or lightly, but there is always a balance between security and people's privacy. And for different countries, due to different cultures and policies, this balance can be adjusted, okay? So today, let's start with another program from TSA. It's called TSGP, Transit Security Grant Program. From the name, you can tell that this is another program, grant money, grant funding to stakeholders to help them with transportation security. Again, it is led by DHS, and it is no surprise that the administrative responsibility of this program has shifted several times within DHS, right? Just like the program I introduced before for maritime. And for TSGP and owners and operators of transit systems, they with within high risk urban areas, they can apply for funding. But the problem is that fund of this program has not been sufficiently used since the beginning of the program due to the late deployment of money, of funding, and also some companies, some stakeholders, when they get the fund and they get the funding and they get the money, they do not use it sufficiently. Okay, and Obama administration proposed something called NPGP, National Preparedness Grant Program. Trying to do what? Trying to consolidate 16 similar programs in a single comprehensive program. So it's easier to administrate it. So it's easier to what? To grant funding conveniently. Okay, and this proposal, although it was proposed several years ago, has never been approved by Congress thus far. Again, it's not a surprise. So anytime when we're talking about policies, proposals, legislations related to DHS, it's complex because there are always so many committees overseeing this huge department. Okay. And the next program from TSA is called Surface Transportation Security Inspectors, STSI. Basically, TSA, they employ, they train, and they assign inspectors to different parts of land transportation security, land transportation systems to conduct what? Security and risk assessments of mass transit and passenger rail systems through another program is called BASE. Okay, and this program lists out all those operations and assessments and evaluations and guidelines these inspectors they should follow. So inspectors from STSI, they conduct visits to address any identified performance weaknesses and monitor the transit system's efforts to remove security vulnerabilities. Okay, and also they, of course, they submit reports, and TSA utilizes these assessments and reports to help establish other transit or passenger rail security programs. And so far, I think this program is working well. And you can say that in 2008, there was only 175 inspectors, and this number increased a lot in the next 3 years. And now, although there are less inspectors for land transportation systems now, it's still pretty good. But if you compare this number with the number of inspectors in aviation industry, in aviation security systems, it's still what? It's still a little bit. It's still much less than those work for aviation. It's 250 versus 600, right? Okay, and also TSA, they encourage citizens and normal people outside of this industry, outside of security industry, to help them enhance the safety of mass transit and passenger rail. So today, if you go to a bus stop, train station, or airport, you can say all the signs, warning signs, telling you if you say something, which means if there is something suspicious, like a backpack, a suitcase that no one is using or no one is responsible for, then you should maybe report authorities, right? And there is another intermodal program. It's called Visible Intermodal Protection and Response Teams. This program was established after the Madrid commuter train bombings in 2004. TSA developed the program, and it was explicitly authorized by the 911 Act. Okay, and since this is an intermodal program, so it is managed jointly by Federal Air Marshal Services and the Office of Security Operations, right? So because it is intermodal, the composition of VIPR teams varies depending on specific needs, right? Including DHS assets, DHS agents, Federal Air Marshals, they could be a part of this program if they're needed on specific planes with high risks, right? STSI is a part of this program. If you need to assign inspectors to land transportation system, to mass transit and passenger rail system. That's also a part of this program. You can use STSI inspectors. Explosive detection K9 or K9 teams and local law enforcement, which means local police department could be a part of this VIPR program if it is necessary. Okay, so you can say the diversity of these teams, of these response teams. And also TSA, they are responsible for different types of trainings. And two of them, two famous programs of this training and exercise programs, they are MTSTP, right? Mass Transit Security Training Program. And another one is called ISTEP, Intermodal Security Training Exercise Program. So again, the second one is for different types of for different types of transportation modes, right? Because it is intermodal. Although these programs, they are here, but for these two programs, they are not working very well due to their own limitations. For MTSTP, for the first one, it mainly focuses on the training of law enforcement management of security incidents instead of frontline personnel such as ticket agents, right? Bus drivers or train drivers, or personnel who are responsible for maintenance of infrastructures, right? So the second one, the problem of the second program here, ISTEP, is that transit and passenger rail sector has only limited resources from TSA under this program, because again, you can expect that a lot of resources in this program in ISTEP, they are assigned to maritime and aviation instead of land transportation, right? So even with this situation, right? We don't have a lot of money for land transportation. All those personnel trained by this program, by ISTEP, they only have tabletop exercises. You can imagine it's just maybe textbook videos. There is no simulations, there is no drills, there is no field work. Okay, so what's the reason for that? Usually it's because that they don't have enough financial support, or say money for simulations, for drills, for field work, because they are expensive, right? Okay, I will just stop here for the first video clip of this meeting, and yeah, see you in the second video clip. Thank you.